So, what do documentary films and a late night debrief with your partner about your day at work have in common? Their manipulation. But if so, how does one document absent? How does one materialize what is immaterial? How does one manipulate something that is no longer there? That is what I'm here to talk about today. My name is Catarina, and I'm a documentary film student. And ever since I can remember, I've been obsessed with the question of truth, specifically with its close and relative perspective, which is what brought me to study documentary cinema in the first place. So my first encounter with this was at the age of 5. I had this hot pink Hello Kitty stamp that I thought was the most fashionable and ingenious thing in the world. And if that was objectively true, then I would be doing my mom a favor by stamping Hello Kitty's face all over the living room's white walls. Needless to say, I was soon grounded and my foundations of truth were taken. So this pursuit of truth brought me to documentary cinema, where the act of observing and retelling is alteration, with the aim of showing a specific truth. This act of observing and retelling is manipulation. Documentary cinema, just like fiction films, are molded by hands that are obligated to make choices to decide what is included, what is excluded, what is cut out, to guide narration. And so this manipulation creates a conceptual framework, a lens through which we see the world. The documentarian is then not really discovering reality or documenting reality, but is rather creating a reality. So, for example, take my view of this hypothetical room. A devout religious person would see the objects in this room as a sign of something divine, where a physicist would instead see particles and universal laws that hold these forces together. A sociologist, on the other hand, would instead see class, power struggles, gender. I see same stories. Sorry, that is not true. What I do see are the possibility of telling stories. We see the same room, the same object, but different world. This set of presumptions forces us to read everything in one way rather than in another. Documentary cinema then does not speak of facts or of right and wrong. Instead, it is a vessel of telling experiences, of retelling experiences. And this is the truth that 5-year-old me was looking for. The process of documentation is manipulation. But if so, how does one document absent? What when what is to be manipulated is no longer there? So I came across this question under the most terrible of circumstances when a dear friend of mine passed away. And his brother asked me to come over with a camera and to document the apartment along with him. And so, with one camera, the two of us, we began. A front door, a scooter still charging, an unwashed bowl left in that thing, a fridge, inside a jar of pickles, a carton of eggs, a bottle of ketchup, a desk with nail scissors and scattered toothpick, a bedroom, an unmade bed. None of these objects were him or stood for him. Instead, each one stood for his absence. Each object carried the same quiet message. Someone was here. Someone placed me here. I am evident. Each object pointed by association towards the same absence. Now, the majority of documentaries recount stories of noble figures, whether political, historical, or social. And documentaries like these choose a figure and in doing so manipulate their existence by telling a story through a specific conceptual lens, framework that we can't escape, that is unavoidable. And faithful documentation of absence is not when you try to retell a story that is no longer ongoing, that is gone, but when you document the fact that it is gone and the effect of its non. And so this precisely is documenting absence, not documenting a specific story that is chosen about the absentee. It is a story of residue, of trace, of what is left behind. Documentation is strictly done in the present. You can't document the past. For example, you're sitting with a group of friends in a coffee shop. Well, you want to take a picture of them, you want to register the moment. So you take out a phone and you snap a picture, and that picture becomes a documentation of the now. What we can do with the past instead is reorganize it and retell it, what we call archival work. So you can't document the past. You can only restructure it. When documenting absence, the thing that is occurring, what is currently happening, is absence itself. And so documenting absence is evident. It points to reality. It has an indexical trait. The unmade bed is a sign, a mark that is physically connected to its source. The bowl and the sink is as authentic as can be. It is the closest we can reach to the person that is no longer here. We leave residue in everything that we've touched, everything that we've done, everything that we've lingered around. And so, documenting absence is witnessing the trace. Those plain and banal objects that I documented were really just filled with insufferably painful meaning. None of us see reality. We only see our version of it. And in this lies the honesty of documenting absence. To document absence is to let go of a single narrative and embrace the absence in all of its lack. The past doesn't reach us intact. It reaches us only as something reimagined. And maybe that isn't a failure in truth, but rather the way truth survives it all. Thank you for lingering in the ambiguity with me, and thank you for listening.